down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down.
I just appreciate everybody
Damn,
watching.
watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Perfect timing, Jerry. I see you in this thing. Let me go ahead and add you to the stream right quick. I see Al 2. Oh, Lord. That man turned up today. What's going on, Al 2? I see you in there. Listen, welcome back to another episode of the Trap or Dive podcast, instant recap edition. Obviously, Packers fall to the Commanders. Commanders take a 2-game win streak into their Week 8 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts, I believe. So, fellas, first and foremost, how y'all doing? Before we talk about the game, man, how's everybody Sunday? How's everybody weekend? Everybody good?
I mean, I had a rough little day before the game. And the game, they won, but I still don't know how to feel.
You got drunk, bro? You a little bit?
No,
I
had busted my tire early, and they were brand new tires, so that was something I dealt with earlier. But I mean, as far as the game itself, I mean, it's cool to get a win, but I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about everything.
Okay, AJ, how you feeling, man? Everything? Hey, did you pop out for Howard yesterday? How's your weekend, first and foremost, by the way, too?
I mean, weekend was chill. I did step out last night. Linked up with Clem Portis, Edgin James, and ran into Chris Baker, of all people.
Oh, why you say it like that? He don't pop out like that?
I didn't even know. I guess I forgot it was alumni weekend, so a lot of the guys were in town. But I know that he lives in Florida, so I was like,
okay, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, just kicked it with my people yesterday. I don't have a hangover, but just kind of out of it altogether. So I didn't even make it to the game today. Nothing, just out of it in the bed.
For what it's worth, bro, that was me yesterday. I was talking all that shit Friday or Thursday, because we were talking about it Thursday, and that's the reason why I was talking about them hot dogs. I had a hot dog like late Friday night, but I was so drunk, bro. That's the only thing. Like, was the last thing on my stomach. It was fucking my stomach up. I was out of it all yesterday, bro. That shit was terrible, dog. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about hot dogs. We here to talk about a goddamn game.
Glizzies and starting the show off talking about glizzies.
Yeah, I know it was bad, bro. It was bad, and it's still bad. Clearly, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's don't ever eat it, bro. Don't ever have that type of shit. Yeah. 23-21, Washington gets the dub, 2 straight wins for the Commanders. And fellas, like Dre said, he doesn't know what to make of it. As always, I do that little one sentence takeaway from the game, and there is not a lot that is very positive. I'll read through a couple of them, and then we'll get to you all's opening thoughts. Some said glad Heineke started. I see Tyler in the chat. What's going on? Big Dog said got the W. That's all that matters. Something's to build on. A couple other people said AJ's. Oh, okay, we got it. AJ said Washington will be blown out. I don't know if I can listen to his analysis anymore. Hey, Hump man, relax. Say relax, bro. Zim, good man. Zim said they absolutely love being mediocre. Coach Manella, shout out to you. This defense is playing well. Second half adjustments from some other people. Defense needs a raise and bonus contracts all around. And then another person sentiment. Oh, 2, actually, one more. A win is a win, and then somebody else said false hope. So I'm going to go ahead and swing it back to you all. AJ, I mean, Dre, you started off this. You don't know how to make of it. Go ahead and expound on that, and AJ, we can get your thoughts.
Yeah, because I mean, we still don't know what this team is right now. And I mean, I guess the best bet you could say is they're still a mediocre team. I mean, they've won 2 straight games. I mean, it's cool to do that because, winning streaks aren't that familiar around these parts. And they started off the season tough. And then, obviously you go into this game with your backup quarterback, Taylor Heineke, the guy who started all last year. He follows up Carson Wentz, who, was Ron's supposed prized possession going into the season. So you wanted to see if things were going to be better. And technically they were. I mean, offensively, they were a bit better, but I did think that they did help themselves by going to a more run-heavy game, which is something we have been calling for weeks now. Like, they should not have been dropping Carson Wentz back as much as they were when they seen it just simply wasn't working with that offense. And today, I thought they really helped Taylor Heineke out by relying on Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson throughout the game. And as you can see, they dominated the time of possession in this game. I mean, they had the ball probably double over what the Packers held the ball. Yeah,
37 minutes to 22, so about plus 15.
And that's how this team is going to win games if they're going to win games. They have to dominate TOP. And what also really helped, and something that's been an issue all season, is the third downs. They were much better on third downs in this game. They were not getting off the field so early and so easily, which was able to extend them drives and make the offense look better. Taylor started off rough, but I thought he settled in. And like I said, I still can't put it all on him. I mean, kudos for Taylor for, getting better as the game went on. I thought he made some big throws, but again, I still say the MVP of this game was the running offense. I mean, outside of Terry McLaurin, of course, because Terry McLaurin just made some crazy catches in this game. I mean, big plays, but the key to this team right now is the running game. And this is what they looked like last year when they went on their 4-game winning streak. They ran the ball a lot, and they didn't really rely on Taylor Heineke to win them games. They won by relying on that running offense. So that was good to see. But again, I don't know what to make of this, and if we can say this is something that's going to go carry forward on, because Scott Turner's just been unpredictable, simply so. And Taylor Heineke as well. You just don't know if he's going to be able to keep them afloat going forward. So right now, just keeping it medium, as Jim Zorn would say.
Keeping it medium. I respect it. AJ, Big Dog, what's going on with your opening thoughts about the game?
Yeah, I don't know why whoever said what they said in the chat wants me to be wrong so bad. Like, why do you want this team to win? Like, they're not going to be competing for anything seriously. Like, the last thing you want them to do is win. I don't know. Is my microphone muffled or anything?
I was just about to text you that we can hear you, but it's muffled. So, like, I can understand what you're saying, but the audio is a little muffled.
Hold on real quick.
Try one more time. Let me get a test.
Hello?
Boom. There you go. You're good to go.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, overall, that's why I came in here with the name. What it says, he is who he is. Yeah, Taylor Heineke is not good. And I didn't know the Green Bay Packers were this bad. Because, honestly, they could have won this game simply off of turnovers. Like, they should have had at least two or three pick sixes. And they failed that. They got one, which was the harder one, that Campbell took back for 6. But the opening drive, that was a pick 6 right from like the 11-yard line. Like, all he had to do was make a play on the ball and he would have scored. Yeah, Green Bay is a pretty bad team. That's all I can really say from the makeup of the game. Like, I don't really think Washington played great defensively. It's just that this team is the team that they face, wide receiver wise, offensive line is so bad that it even made Aaron Rodgers look like he's a bad quarterback, like he's a bottom tier. Like, and we know damn sure he's not. Scott Turner still having awful play calling. Luckily, Washington's offensive side of the ball has Terry McLaurin, who was going out his mind today. Like, he really been trying to get the ball. Like he really was mad that the previous weeks he really ain't been getting fed the ball. And today you seeing him curse on the sidelines when they cut the camera, like all type of shit, and having to make hero-ass plays for Taylor Heineke and his noodle-ass arm.
Now that's
just,
come on, bro. The touchdown was a fucking dime, bro.
It was a dime.
You can't take that away.
The touchdown. I don't know if I'm gonna sit here and call it a dime. I think Terry McLaurin is a good wide receiver, bro. Like at the end of the day,
that's an over the shoulder catch.
That was
bro.
a really good
Come
throw,
on,
though,
dog.
AJ. Come on,
Come
man.
on, bro.
You know football.
I'm not
AJ.
gonna sit here and call it a nice throw. Like the bar set so low for this dude. Like we gonna sit here and act like that's a nice throw. Like that's just a great play by a great playmaker.
So what about the first touchdown to Antonio Gibson?
The first touchdown to Antonio Gibson. What about it?
I'm asking you the same question.
He was wide open. He should.
He had to get the ball over the linebacker, bro. Like he had to get that over into Antonio Gibson's hands.
Is it our fault? Is it our fault or God's fault that he's 6 feet?
No matter, he got it over there.
You gotta call it for what it is sometimes.
Bro.
You gotta say what it is sometimes.
That is a base.
I just want you to know. All
play.
I'm saying, AJ, all I'm saying, bro, is like I feel like you feel like it's gonna hurt you if you acknowledge that there was one or two good plays that you can give to a person that you don't like.
But I'm not easily impressed. Like those are throws that you're supposed to be able to make. Especially especially if we're supposed to sit here and make emphasis of the throw to Antonio Gibson in the end zone. Like those are basic plays, bro. Like why would I sit here and hype that?
I mean, it would be the same. All I'm saying, all right. So before I go, I want to make sure you finish yours because I just butted on the Terry thing. So I want to make sure you finish your points. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they pulled off a win against a bad team, and here we are discussing it. But yeah, I will give kudos when kudos is due, but I'm not gonna give kudos to the throw to Terry McLaurin. I wasn't impressed. Like I was seeing people on Twitter tweeting that they were impressed. I'm not impressed. Like at the end of the day, I thought it was a great play by Terry McLaurin, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like it was like the greatest pass I've ever seen him throw before. And the play, especially like I said, the Antonio Gibson was wide open. So at the end of the day, I seen a lot of mistakes out of him. I seen a lot of poor passes. I seen a lot of opportunity that Green Bay should have took advantage of that they didn't. They did get one in that pick six that Campbell took to the crib. Outside of that, I mean, I felt like it was a piss poor performance by the offense, in my opinion. And defensively, they went against a poor offense. I didn't know Green Bay was this bad. That's my main takeaway from the game, honestly. Aside from everything else, I did not know that Green Bay was this bad on the offensive side of the ball.
So, several things. Yeah, like speaking on Green Bay, I get Green Bay out of the way first. Bro, 12 carries for 38 yards between your running backs. Aaron Jones, 8 carries, 23 yards, and AJ Dillon, 4 carries, 15 yards. They don't get involved in your offense in terms of the ground game, and they did actually early on, to be more specific. They did early on, and then all of a sudden, you stopped using your running backs. Like you forgot that you were winning 14-3 at one point. That's weird. AJ Dillon had probably about two or three drops as a running back. I think Aaron Jones probably had a drop or two. And then obviously you get to the receivers. Alan Lazard had a uncharacteristic drop, given his tenure and his chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. And then you had, I think, Torrey and Romeo Doubs, four targets for Romeo Doubs, zero catches, and I think he had 2 drops, one big one on third down early in the game. So overall, from the actual Green Bay perspective, it was a very ugly game. When you're talking about a team who didn't trust their offensive line, you had to rely on your receivers to make some clutch catches, and you probably had to rely on them to make some catches in traffic, given the situation and given that maybe Washington even knew that you wasn't going to have enough time to go deep, so they're playing a little bit tighter to your receivers. And even still, with all that being said, the Green Bay Packers had opportunities, weren't able to convert on multiple situations, 0 for 6 on third down throughout the day. So that was one of the bigger things for these guys. They couldn't really establish drives at all. And then when you swing to Washington's side, I think the story really does come down to Green Bay's missed opportunities offensively. And then on the flip side for Washington, it comes down not necessarily to how their defense played, because they had some self-conflicting issues. Green Bay did, but offensively, the Commanders really they after that turnover from Taylor Heineke, they really established the ground game. Again, Dre, you mentioned the 15 plus 15 in TOP. So that's something that's incredible. 0 sacks allowed. I think it was heading into the third quarter. I don't think he got he got 1 sack. So 1 sack in the fourth quarter for the Commanders allowed. Drastic difference from Carson Wentz in the amount that he usually takes. So that's one thing. But then, like, the thing with the ground, right? You had 38 carries, 166 yards, 36 true carries. That's not including your running back. Your quarterback. For 162 yards on the day. And my thing is, fellas, when you like, I had tweeted this and I still stick to this. I don't understand Scott Turner sometimes, like, and not in a literal way. Like, it's a lot of times where I don't understand Scott Turner, but when it comes to the ground game, the way that they were able to maintain their balance throughout the game, throughout the day, it always reminds me about the times in which he inexplicably goes away from the run. And I felt like he has to really see tangible evidence that, running the ball is worth sticking with the ground game before he decides to stay balanced. Like, and I don't think that, like, that's never a reason or a good way to succeed. Like, sometimes you have to get those 2-yarders, those 3-yarders, because eventually they'll turn into 5-yarders and 6-yarders or maybe even a 20-yarder. But I think the good thing here for Washington and Taylor Heineke and Scott Turner is that the running backs all together was on one. I'm gonna get to Taylor Heineke in a second, but overall, like, I think it did come down to that ground game. And fellas, all three, meaning specifically Robinson, Gibson, and Curtis Samuel, they were all on one today, and it was a really good outing by the running backs.
Yeah, definitely agree. And like I said, that's the strength of this team right now. And I mean, I think we knew that, for the past few games, that the strength of this team is those running backs and the targets that they have. I mean, now you're going to probably see Curtis Samuel's value go up because Taylor Heineke's not going to be much of a downfield threat. So Curtis excels is in the short field. So now you're going to see him more involved. But again, Maul, I do agree with you that it shouldn't take these things for Scott Turner to realize and say, hey, I have to adjust and do this. Like, we shouldn't be here in the Green Bay game now just saying that, hey, maybe we should run the ball more. But here we are. And it seems like he's only forced to do this once he has to play Taylor Heineke. When we've been kind of all saying, we've been saying for a while that, he needs to get the backs more involved. And today, I mean, I was actually shocked that they had a good mix of Robinson and Gibson. Like last week in the Bears game, you didn't see Gibson to the second half, but this week they were alternating the two all game. They were just, one by one. I mean, it didn't seem like, someone had to get in his ear at some point in the game and say, hey, you have this guy here. But again, it just shouldn't take this long to say, to do the things that a lot of us are just sitting at home watching, telling them to do, So it was good to see those guys involved. And hopefully that is the thing going forward. But I will say another thing I did like about this game was the domination in the second half that they did at Green Bay. I mean, they completely dominated Green Bay for the most part of the second half. And that's really rare for a Washington team to dominate. And it's funny to say that they dominated a team in which they only won by 2 points in this game. Washington are one of the few teams in this league that could probably say I dominated a team for a whole game and still kind of eke the win out. But nonetheless, it was really good to see them dominate. But you would like to see them start off faster. I mean, I do think that starts with the offense. The defense hasn't been giving them chances these last couple of weeks. I thought the defense kept them in it today. But the offense started late, which is why you kind of had to eke that win out the way you did. But you want to see this team start faster. I mean, that's a reflection on the coaching staff. Ron has to get these guys going faster. I mean, I guess he's going to probably use the excuse that Taylor Heineke was just, getting settled or whatnot. But this is just a kind of a constant theme with Ron and his teams. And, against better teams, you're not going to get so lucky to come out with wins like today.
Yeah. It's weird, Brad, because like when you said it, Dre, and obviously AJ is, very adamant, like this ain't nothing to be, what I'm saying, worth talking about or hyping up. But to y'all's point, like when you look at the Commanders in two straight games, you're trying to figure out, like, you're trying to navigate, I guess, the gray area with this team, right? Obviously, there were two teams that weren't playing good football right now in 2 straight weeks. The Bears, the Packers. It's weird because the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, but they're not winning. It's weird because the Packers have Aaron Rodgers and their offense is terrible. And now you're going into who's up next. I did say Colts, but I just want to double check. I think it is the Colts. You have the Colts on the road next week, and like you're getting another test here in terms of like the type of the quality of opponent that you're playing. And the Colts ain't that good either. So I think the question is starting to morph into, while we understand, or while a lot of people understand what this team is, I don't think like the record, it is what it is as long as you win, right? And that's what matters to these coaches. But I don't think a lot of people are appreciative or even like willing to like acknowledge the fact that Washington ain't about to play. Like these are about to be some games that they're, because of who they're going up against, they're going to be in it. Like the Colts, they're going to be in that game. The Vikings, that's going to be interesting. They're a more efficient offense than the last two that we played, or the last three. And now about to be the next four with the Colts coming up. But that's going to be some games where you're like, all right, I'm not necessarily sure that we're good, fellas, but they just keep on potentially they just keep on winning. Where are you at with that conundrum in terms of trying to cipher through what this team really is, if you think they're good or if you think they're bad? But what do you think about deciphering through that, and then understanding that this schedule is for Washington and the coaches and for the team, they're looking like they're about to be in it for the next couple of weeks at the very least.
Oh God. So yeah.
Look, it got to be talked about.
I mean, I think we have to look at Washington, right?
Oh,
in their situation, and kind of compare it to, the Carolina Panthers, even though they won today against Tampa. But at some point, you have to realize that we don't have an efficient enough team to really push us to the next level where we want to be. And you might even call it self-sabotaging or something, but you don't necessarily want to be competitive in these games where you're getting W's. Like, it sounds wild, but this is a team that going into next year, you still don't have the quarterback position fixed. You still don't really understand what type of team you even have from a coaching staff standpoint, like head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I mean, they're lucky at this point of the schedule. They're coming across some bad teams that we thought would be more efficient. We thought that the Colts would be more efficient as a team overall. They lost again to the Tennessee Titans. Today, the Green Bay Packers, we thought that they would be, running off of their high from last year, even though they're missing Devontae Adams. But overall, I think as a fan, when you step back, you still don't really have a good pulse of this team. You don't really know what they do good. You know that when they do stick with the run and try to implement it more, that it leads to success for them in their offensive game. But at the end of the day, on both sides of the ball, you still don't really know what they do good. You can't really sit here in a conversation and say that they're a great pass rushing team. They're a great run stopping team. They're good at pass coverage. They're good at running the ball. They make plays in their wide receiver unit, their tight end unit. You're getting above average quarterback play. You really can't pinpoint to anything that they do well. You can't even pinpoint to special teams. You can give Trezway his props, but aside from that, we've been seeing Dax Milline. Is that how you say his name?
Dax Mill. It is
Dax
whatever.
Mill, whatever the fuck it is. We seeing him
respectfully.
Nah, with all due respect. I mean, with no due respect. But you're seeing him with his basic punt returns today. You got Antonio Gibson implemented in the kickoff game, and you've seen how far they ended up taking the ball in comparison to what Dax has been doing all year. But aside from that, you can't say that anything unit-wise on this team on any side of the ball is above average.
Dre, where you at in terms of just to reach the deciphering between the record, the quality of teams that they're playing, and understanding who they have within the next couple of weeks on their schedule?
Yeah, and it's funny because going into the season, all we talked about was how light this schedule was supposed to be, and then you start off 1-4, and you think, hey, it didn't look like so much the schedule. The team just looked bad. Like they just looked flat out bad, regardless of who they had in front of them. That's why, even though I'm not really too up on this team right now, because like I said, they're 3-4, and for me, I've seen them look bad much more than I've seen them look even decent this season. So it's going to take a little bit more to impress me or get me to change my position right now on what this team is. That's why even after this win, I'm not too high. But at the same time, when people are saying, oh, well, they're only playing this team, they're only playing that team. But hey, we're a team that these other teams think they can beat. So if you go out there and you win, you have to give them at least some kind of credit, or at least a hat off for that. The fact that they're coming out on top of these games, because to be honest, none of us have any expectations going into this game. Like we all picked them to lose going into this Green Bay game this week, regardless of the fact that Green Bay has struggled the last couple of weeks. They got crushed by the Jets last week. We all expected Green Bay to beat us this week, but they came out and they won. But like I said, they actually dominated a half, which is something they don't normally do. That's a rare thing. So, I mean, if you're still in it and, hoping this team turns it around, that's a positive that they can build on, because you can kind of go, like I mentioned earlier, you can go back to last year at the 4-game winning streak. How they won today is how they won those games in that 4-game winning streak. You can't say that so much for the Bears game, because the Bears game was a contest of you can take it, I don't want it. Here, you have it. That's what the Bears game was. That wasn't the case today. Like, the Commanders actually went out there and they took this game and they won. I mean, they could have lost the game, but for the most part, they dominated the second half. They had a two-score lead in the fourth quarter. So Green Bay was scrambling to come back. So you got to give the Commanders that. But this is something that if they are going to change their tide and change their fortune this season, they're going to have to build off of what they did today. And they have to be that team today. And that's regardless of who they're playing, on the schedule. I mean, I know they have Indianapolis and a couple of those games coming up. But if they are this team, they are going to have a chance, or they're going to at least put themselves in position to at least win these games. So I do expect them to, look a little decent. Again, I'm not expecting them to be much better. I still can't even say they even look like an 8-win team right now. But if they can just build off of what they did today and use this strategy, and Scott Turner doesn't get ahead of himself like he normally does, then they can put themselves in a fight and be in position, at least, for a wild card spot.
So let's go ahead and catch up with some of these comments in the chats. What's going on, everybody? Make sure, if you are new or you're just checking in, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the channel on YouTube, man, it's definitely appreciated. Make sure you hit that follow button on Twitch. If you are new to the Twitch channel, it is definitely appreciated. Armani, I see you, big dog. What's up? We got to get you to the 1K subscribers. Yeah, man, look, we're slowly turning away. Yeah, I feel like I've been stuck in the 900s for like 17 years now. We got to do something about that. But the link is in the comments for anybody and everybody who wants to come up. We'll get a couple calls and chop it up. If anybody want to come through, there's that. Where are we at? Terry TD was a dime from Jay Tyler. Kenneth Campbell said, one thing about Taylor, he will always give you a chance to win. That is funny because Tyler immediately responded. He said, that is horse shit. Hey, I'm about to say that. Look, that's gonna be that's a controversial comment right there. And it's funny though.
Like, this shit is wild to even say. Like that's what I'm saying. We're not realizing that Green Bay really did not take advantage of the opportunities that he tried to give them the ball. Like, I mean, yeah, they got the pick six, but there were so many other times that they should have had turnovers. Like, even that play that Gary made, where he made Taylor fumble.
Gary.
Yeah, what did they call on that?
I actually missed what you said. You said when Terry fumbled.
So when Taylor
Taylor,
fumbled,
my bad. I thought you said Terry.
When he got hit in the back by Gary, like, I don't even know what penalty that saved him from that not being a turnover. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I think it was holding. It was the holding on Terry McLaurin. And it was away from the play, but they called the holding.
Yeah,
when he was still inside the tackle.
They literally were getting saved, man. Like, Green Bay was not trying to take advantage, and yeah, I don't know. I guess some people just want Taylor Heineke to succeed so bad. I don't know.
So a couple more comments, and then we can finish off with Taylor. So Where are we at? Roger, what's going on, Roger? He said, I will down this hill. You run to open up the pass, not the other way around. A change in the philosophy was needed, and it worked. An identity was needed, and now we got to be careful with that one, Roger. Only reason why I say we got to be careful, Roger, is because it's different, man. Scott Turner had a really good game plan, and it was like the Packers were daring Washington to really run the football against them. They aren't necessarily a very good run defense. So I just want you to say, like, while I understand they had a really good game, 38 carries, you can't beat it. Very balanced, 38 carries, 33 passes. We got to be careful with that when it comes to Scott Turner in particular. But I do like the idea of staying balanced. I think we all do, and I think we all know that this team needs it because they have the stable in the backfield to do it. Hawk said Indianapolis still has a defense, and they have Jonathan Taylor. That is true. Monty mentioned Green Bay is not very good. We left too many points on the field. 4 red zone chips and 13 points is an issue. Okay, we got a couple more. Grizz is checking in. Big dog. How Nova treating you, bro? He said a win is a win, but I can't keep doing these down to the wire games. Either win or lose by 14, so my heart can rest. JB checking in. What's going on, big dog? Okay, so Taylor Heineke. Everybody, let's get your initial grades on Taylor Heineke. Let's do a grade scale. Obviously, no letter, no numbers. Excuse me. Let's get a letter grade scale in A, B, C, or D, or F if you want to go F. And for me, fellas, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going with a steady C. Obviously, 201 yards ain't nothing to brag about. Having 13 incompletions on 33 attempts is nothing to brag about. Understanding that, he had, I think, probably four opportunities in the first half for interceptions, and Green Bay only took advantage of one is something that's worth context. But I also think that for all of that's worth, man, it's impossible to count out the resiliency, and I think that's what elevates a game that was, because we got to remember that man started off 1 of 7 with I took the notes, 1 of 7 for 5. It was 5 bad balls, 5 bad balls on the first 4 drives, and I had all of them noticed. So all up until his touchdown to Antonio Gibson, all but one pass looked like difficult throws. He was having a terrible game, and then there was one pass that knocked out Cole Turner. We can't catch a break with Cole Turner, and it's frustrating me because that's one of my favorite prospects coming out of the prospects on this draft class, and he can't stay on the field to save his life. And you had Taylor Heineke throw a terrible pass that was high and behind him, so now he has to go up in the air and make an excellent adjustment, which he does. But the DB knocks the ball out of his hands. He hit his head, knocked out. He probably out for next week again. So his game in that first half, that first quarter and some change, terrible. Like, it gets no way around that, but things start to change. I think heading into the 2-minute warning, I believe. And then obviously out of that first drive, out of half, man, you have a 12-play, 83-yard drive that it was really B-Rob and AG that took over, but you cap it off with with very good pass downfield and things like that. So ultimately, it was a really good bounce back, and it showed your resiliency. But it's hard to say anything over a C for me with Taylor Heineke. But from where he started and where it really got for him, and obviously that fumble that got called back, solid performance, solid way to bounce back. Average altogether, but is way better given that, like, if you want to do the second half, I would say that's like a B+, and that's probably what evens it out for him. So where are we at with the grades?
I'm gonna go with a solid C+. And again, following up off of you, Maul, that first half was just dreadful for Taylor Heineke. He had a really bad first half, but once he got settled in, he was a big part why this team won. I mean, as much as we want to say, it was the running game, Terry, but Heineke played his part. Heineke was able to, settle down, and he made some really good reads. I mean, even the commentators noticed, they said, okay, these are good reads by Taylor Heineke. And that's one of the things I do think that's his strengths. We can sit up here and talk about what he doesn't have all day. We know he doesn't have a strong arm. We know he makes reckless decisions here and there. But a lot of times, Taylor Heineke, one of the things he is good at, he makes really good reads when he's locked in. And, that was one of those things that helped extend those drives. That was one of those things that you saw make those third down convergence that this team has been struggling with all season. Like I said, now Curtis is going to get a lot more involved. I mean, a lot of people, may not like what this offense has to be because it doesn't look, quote unquote, modern day NFL, but it's what has to happen for this team right now to have any kind of success, or if they want to win games, this is the best chance they have to put themselves in. They're just not going to have this, big time throwing passing game with Taylor Heineke at the helm. Like, you have to, go to a more power run scheme and, more so of a short passing game. And it worked today. We can talk about what Green Bay is or isn't, but this is a game that Washington is known to lose. We lose these type of games normally, but Taylor Heineke had a big hand in winning. But again, he started off bad. You hope that's not a thing, but Taylor is known for that. I think he did that a lot last season. He would just start off games.
Tell us about your son.
Yeah.
Tell us about your son.
We talking about Heineke. That's the topic. I know AJ doesn't want to talk about this, but Heineke, he settled down. He had a decent game. Like you said, Jamal, I'm probably somewhere in the B+ territory in the second half, but overall, he was an F in the first half. So we're coming in the middle. I'm giving him a C+ for his game.
Let us know why you got him why I'm at an A, AJ. Appreciate that.
Well, I'm surprised his pops didn't. I'm surprised his pops didn't stick with the B+.
But because AJ, I'm realistic. I'm objective. I'm not like you where I'm gonna go out here because I hate something. I'm not gonna give him any props or anything. So
hey,
give him an F, AJ.
I'll admit I don't like him as a quarterback. I don't like the narrative that has been built around him that he could be a future franchise quarterback.
I think that's fair. That narrative, disagreeing with that, I don't agree with it either.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. But for today's game, for what it's worth, I guess you can give him a C. But man, was it ugly. It was not pretty at all. And you got to see a lot of the reasons why he went undrafted. You got to see a lot of the reasons why he's been in the league, been a part of the NFL for so long and really hasn't gotten the opportunity. You can also see the reason why people like myself were saying, why not just give Sam Howell a chance? At least if he gonna mess up, we could say that he's learning the league. You feel me? Because it's glaring poor traits in his game that you could see, and you could also see where I mentioned Scott Turner them last year, they failed him too by not taking advantage of his athleticism and getting him out the pocket. They started to do a little bit more of that in the second half, but overall, you can give him a C. He didn't try to make too many plays downfield. With the one pass he did make downfield to Terry McLaurin, that was a great play by Terry. That was a great play by Terry.
AJ, I gotta ask you this because you laughed at me when I said this pregame that I thought, even though it was going to be a slight thing, I said the offense will be slightly better, at least with Taylor Heineke than it was with Wentz. You laughed at that. Where are you at with that today?
Oh, I still think the offense is poorly ran.
I get that.
I still believe that. I feel like we've seen some difference in formations that they were running. I seen more mixtures of backfields with.
So was it better or not, AJ? Was the offense better with Heineke?
Was it better in comparison to what five other weeks that we've seen?
Yes.
Or last week.
Overall.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. 6 weeks under Wentz. Did it look better with Heineke?
No, it didn't look better. What it looked like was the quarterback also knows his limitations and took what was in front of him, or attempted to do so more so than trying to hit the big play. That's what I will say. I would say that Taylor Heineke knows he doesn't have a Carson Wentz type of arm, so he's also not holding on to the ball so long, trying to let the downfield play develop. And Taylor was trying to take advantage of things that were in front of him, but at the same token, he doesn't have enough arm strength to get certain balls in certain places that it needs to go, especially to the sideline. Basic passes to the sideline, when you see it even going in that angle, you're just like, damn, this is going to be a pick six, because most corners can break on those type of passes. But like I said, I'll give him a C grade. I feel like he did start off very poorly. Later on, they allowed him to start using his athleticism, getting outside the pocket, made a couple dink and dunks. Where I want to see improvement from Scott Turner, more importantly, is in the red zone. You can't keep getting in the red zone and having opportunities to put up 6 and having to
Yeah,
put
1
it
of
on
4.
your
Like Armani said, 1 of 4 in the red zone.
yeah, and having to put it on the leg of Joey Sly, because I mean every time he goes back to kick, I'm thinking it's a miss. Honestly, I'm more surprised when he makes it than than anything. You just want to see better play calling in those positions because I feel like they left a couple touchdowns in the red zone with the poor play calling. But overall, yeah, I think I'm being fair with my grade in a C.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Let's see. I'm checking in the comments. Jay said C. Jay Tyler. Armani said C plus. Kenny said B minus. And then Hawk said B minus. Okay.
How is there a C plus? Just overall grading scale, like not even. How can there be a C plus? What is a plus about a C?
The plus
I
is
don't
they
know.
won. They win the game.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, I've always wondered this when I was young. Like I never understood it. Like how could I have a C plus? Like
I think like basically in my head the way they do it, like the 7, or like a how do I do it with the grading scale? It's like a 3.5 or no, what is it? What is it? No, the 3.5 is a B or a 3 is a B, so a 2 is a C. So like 2.5 is what, a C plus? Or no, that's a C, solid C.
Like this, what is it? The 7, like a C is a 70, and so but a 70 is a low C. You almost had a D because you were almost in the 60s.
So C minus is like the 70.
Right.
75
so
is the
C
is the
plus
C.
would be 76, 77.
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like when they say like a team had a winning record but didn't play in the playoffs. Like if you ain't making it to the playoffs, how the fuck do you have a winning record? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm not here to. That shit hurts my head, so I ain't even about to entertain it. I'm not too good with this stuff. But nah. So all right. So here we are. 3 and 4. We talked Taylor. Talked the weapons. Terry McLaurin spoke after the game. He was talking about how it was good for the team to really trust him in positions to win the game for him. And Taylor threw the fuck it ball. That was probably like the one wildest pass that he had in the second half. But he threw it anyway, and gave Terry opportunity to win. Last thing, I guess, fellas, did y'all think that they was gonna did y'all think they was about to fucking score on that last play, bro?
I walked away before they started.
Hell yeah, that play seemed like it was never ending, bro.
Right.
I'm sitting here like, they about to score, dog.
I was about to say when Cuz cut it up field, that new receiver that got, I guess, elevated from the practice squad, he cut up field and then he froze. And instead of like just keep going, like push, like you what, 25, 30 yards out at that point, you just gotta go and hope your teammates pursue you. Throw it to Aaron Rodgers. As soon as Aaron Rodgers got it, fucking he threw it to an offensive lineman. I was like, yep, ball game. But yeah, I really did think they was about to score, man. That last drive altogether was Washington's way of trying to lose the game. The last drive before that, to be clear. The 3 penalties on third down at that ultimately gave Green Bay a shot to win it at the end. And we'll see as they continue to push on to Indianapolis. I don't know what to make of that one, but Torrey. There you go, Jay. Torrey, he was the one. He had that jump. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and close out with the final thoughts. Anything that you all want to finish on before we get ready for the Tuesday Trap or Dive podcast?
Yeah, man, I want to say congrats to my guy D'Angelo Hall being voted into the 90 greatest Washington Redskins, whatever the hell they want to call them, call them or whatever. I think what else I wanted to say. Yeah, I think that's about it, man. Just congrats to him making the 90th greatest Redskins team ever. I know that's important to him. He grew up a Washington fan, growing up in Chesapeake, Virginia. So I know that was a great moment for him and his family. Aside from that, I'm glad the game is over and I ain't got to watch Taylor.
Say thanks to Taylor for mounting that comeback down 14-3.
Nah, man. Honestly, bro, I want this team to be in the best draft position that they can be. Like that's it. But you can't change the schedule. They got the Colts coming up. We already know what we about to hear about all week with Jim Irsay and Snyder.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
But yeah, I think I hope that they don't try to force Chase Young to get elevated to possibly playing next week.
Yeah, they keep winning, bro. They keep winning.
So
Hawk said in the chat the initials in AJ's name stands for outstanding job to Taylor Heineke. All right, Dre.
It doesn't start with an A though.
Astounding.
Oh, I said, bro, that's my fault.
I'm sitting here like, what?
Hey, bro.
They ain't calling you OJ, AJ.
It's time for me, bro. I'm fucking up every which way I could.
Definitely not OJ. So yeah.
Hey, Dre. Anything before we go and get up out of here, big dog?
Hey, happy homecoming to the Washington Commanders.
Happy homecoming.
They won their homecoming game. Good for them, man. But we'll see, man. If they beat the Colts next week, they may get me to start drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid again. But right now, I'm still we'll see,
all right.
man. We'll see.
We about to clip that, man. Let the people know that you feeling some type of way if they get that dub.
Yeah. If and how. That's the big two things.
All right, man. All right, hey everybody, appreciate everybody who checked in for the recap. The fellas will be back Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow morning for the Washington Commanders morning show. Again, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow on Twitch if you are not. And then the fellas, yeah, y'all be safe, man. Catch y'all on Tuesday. Colts up next, 3-4 on the road to phone 4. I guess. I don't know. We out of here. Peace.
But